Hey, it's Chris Ramsey, and now I want to talk to you a little bit about lead generation on Autopilot. There is a lot of talk about doing lead generation with software, with outsourcers, with a lot of different things. And I'm going to share with you two simple methods for lead generation that doesn't take a huge amount of time. One of these is going to take a bit of time investment on your part, and it's kind of hard to actually outsource this, but the point isn't to be, completely detached from everything. It's to work as few hours as possible. So the lead gen secret I'm going to talk about here in just a second, I have talked about a lot before, but I really think it's important because it works so damn well. So let's go ahead and first talk about outsourcing lead generation. Alright, let's get this over. Alright, so first of all, you need to know who to target. Now, who is your ideal client? There are a lot of offline consultants who don't know who their ideal client is. In fact, I would bet that the majority of offline consultants have no idea who their ideal client is. And that's a problem because you're going to end up with clients that are hard to work with, don't pay on time, and can be just a pain in the butt. So before you really get into the lead generation, I really want you to think hard about who your ideal client is. Write out a list, like actually take out a piece of paper and write down a list of the ideal qualities of your ideal client. And it doesn't have to be, pays on time, whatever. It could be anything you want. Just really take the time to think about what you want in your clients, what type of people you want to work with, if you want them to be friendly, if you want them to be serious business people, exactly what you want. Then you'll be able to take that and figure out exactly who you want to start working with. Next, you really need to start focusing on a specific niche. I know that James Foster talks about this a lot, and every now and then I'll mention it too, but I'm going to mention it here because it's so important. You really need to start taking on a single industry. So if you want to work with pool installers, that's who you should go after. If you want to work with high-profile lawyers, that's a great one too. Just think about the type of industry that you want to be the go-to guy for, and that's what you need to start working towards. When you do this, it doesn't really take all that long to become the go-to guy. Let me kind of rant about that for just a second. Becoming the go-to guy in a specific local industry means that all of those people in that industry are going to look to you for advice, which means you can start running seminars really easily, which you can charge a high price per head for. Means you can write little books, sell those to the local companies. There's all sorts of things you can do when you become the go-to guy. Just imagine being the person that all of the local lawyers go to when they need SEO work or email marketing work or whatever. It's like having a buyer's list at your disposal where they absolutely love what you're doing, just with physical businesses. So those are the two things you really need to focus on when you're thinking about who to target. And once you do that, then you can start thinking about hiring a lead generator. So let's go ahead and open that up. Scoot this over. First of all, if you're going to be hiring a lead generator, there's a few places you can check out. You can go to Craigslist, or you can go to outsourcing websites. I've used Craigslist in the past for this, and I haven't had awesome luck, so I would just go ahead and skip that and go right for the outsourcing websites. My personal choice is Odesk.com. I mentioned this in one of the other videos, and I go through it in detail there, so I won't here. But just check out Odesk.com. That is where I get all my outsourcers from. Now next, you can either post ads directly for lead generation experts, and you'll probably get some good bids on there, or you can just go right for virtual assistant, which is what I choose to do. The downside to that is you do actually have to start training them, but it's a lot cheaper in the long run, and lead generation isn't the only thing they'll be able to do for you. You can train them to do literally anything that you need. So I would recommend getting a virtual assistant. So let's talk about training real quick. I've got a couple bullet points here. Now, training doesn't take all that long. but you do need to provide as much information on your ideal leads as possible. This is why it's important to know who to target. Next, the easiest way I would say to train a virtual assistant in something like this is to take a screencast kind of like this and show exactly how you select your leads. So let's say you use Manta.com for your lead generation. So all you need to do is take a screen video like this, which there's a lot of free software out there. You don't have to use Camtasia, which is quite expensive. You can use any sort of free screencast software, and just go to the websites that you need leads from and start looking for leads the way that you normally do, while explaining why you're doing what you're doing. And this video is going to be just enough training for your virtual assistant so that they can generate leads exactly how you want. It'll take you 10 minutes to do, and it'll work great. Alright, so next, let's talk about this lead generation secret that I keep ranting about over and over and over and over again. Now, before I jump into it, I want to tell you why I love this so much. I used this technique maybe a year and a half ago, and it worked amazing. Actually, I guess if I was going to be completely honest, I've been using this technique off and on for a while now, but I started using it on purpose about a year and a half ago, and it was the easiest way I've ever been able to find hot leads. So what is it? Running groups. Now, you don't exactly have to run groups, you can just attend groups and network. That works, but it is definitely the slower way to book clients. So if you want to, or if you don't want to actually run your own group, feel free to just attend other people's groups, and I'll show you a place in just a second where you can find dozens and dozens of local business groups to attend. So, running groups. This is an amazing, amazing method for lead generation. Let me tell you why. When you are on stage or just in front of your group explaining whatever it is you're explaining, teaching them whatever you want to teach them, it puts you in a position that garners a whole lot of respect. It puts you in a place where you are the expert. You are the person these guys are looking to learn about internet marketing or whatever it is you are teaching them about. So let's go ahead and talk about how to run your groups. First of all, we need to think about who your group is for. This goes back to knowing your ideal customer. Who is your group for? It's for business owners. And you don't want... sorry, I'm losing myself in my thoughts. Last night, James and I were talking about running groups with a few other people. And the topic of who would attend the groups was brought up. Now, if you push your group as just a plain internet marketing group, which is what a lot of people are going to start or are going to try and do if they don't have the proper information first, you're going to get a lot of people who are just interested in becoming internet marketers or MLM type people attending your group, which is not necessarily a bad thing if that's what you're going for, but in this case it is. You don't want those type of people attending your group. You want business owners, people who run their own business, to attend your group, people who have money in their pockets and are willing to spend it on advertising that works. Those are the type of people you want at your group. And you can niche that down even further by focusing specifically on creating advertising towards your demographic, like we talked about before. Now, there's a lot of different groups you can run. You can run either a presentation style group or a networking group. These are the two main types of groups that I've attended, and well, I guess they're the only two types I've attended, but I definitely say that the presentation style group is the way to go. The reason why is because, like I said a minute ago, it puts you, it turns you into an expert in the eyes of your listeners, or the people who attend your group. Now, the other type of group, the networking group, will still put you as an expert, but not in the same light. because when you're out there giving presentations, people actually get to see what you know. However, as the guy who just runs a networking group, it just seems like you know all these people, which that's a good thing in itself, but it's not the same as proving to these people that you are an expert in your niche. So definitely think about running a presentation style group where you actually talk to people about whatever it is you want to talk about. Now, as far as locations go, you can do these groups pretty much anywhere. My group was run out of a sushi restaurant. I would reserve a couple of tables once a month, and business owners would get together and eat sushi. That was my group. And before we ate dinner, I would give a little presentation, maybe 15-20 minutes on whatever it was, and that was that. I didn't really even need to push my services on these people because they knew who I was, they knew that I knew what I was talking about, and they had my contact information. So it's really, really a simple way to do it. And if you really want a lot more information about running groups, there is a book called Book Yourself Solid, and I really recommend that you read that book. There's a nice long chapter about running groups in there that I would really recommend. It's not specifically geared towards internet marketing, but you can definitely use it for that. So next we need to talk about how to get business owners to attend your groups. A group without business owners is useless, so I think that's pretty important. There's two methods, either direct mail or meetup.com. First, let's talk about direct mail. Now, with direct mail, there are two methods that I've used that work pretty well: postcards and invitations. Now, the postcards, those can be really friggin' simple. You don't need a big fancy design. All you need to do is throw something together in Photoshop that looks nice, and on the back have an invitation to your group meeting. You've got to have the address, the date, the time, all that stuff on there. And if your group is free, make sure to mention that on the card, because business owners tend to get a lot of things like this for luncheons and seminars and things where they have to actually go and pay. So if your group is free, make sure to point that out. And next is invitations, and these would be just like the birthday party invitations you would receive in the mail when you were a kid. The folded over cards. And all you need to do is send a few of those out as well. Both of these types of mailings are a lot better than regular mail or regular letter mailings. The reason is business owners tend to sort their mail over the trash, just like the rest of the country. Well, rest of the world, I would imagine. So you really need to send out something that's going to get their attention and get it fast. The fact that they're getting a card in the mail or a postcard, those are different. Those are things that they're not saying every 5 seconds. So think about those before you start sending out letters. And next, this is my preferred method, is to use meetup.com. The reason for that is it's already got thousands and thousands and thousands of actual business owners on the website actively looking for groups like this. So all you need to do is create a group, which is like $13-14 a month on meetup.com, and create an event. That's really all you have to do. You can post some ads on Craigslist, on Facebook, whatever. You can do the direct mail if you don't get very many people at your first meeting. But if you're anywhere near a decent sized city, using meetup.com could be all you really need to make this happen for you. So go ahead, sign up for meetup.com, create a group in your area, and make sure that all your stuff, or like the description for the group, the descriptions for the events and all that, make sure that that is written specifically for business owners. Because like I said before, you don't just want internet marketers and MLMers attending your group. You want actual business owners. Talk about how using, like, my events would always revolve around one specific topic. So one month we would talk about SEO. The next month we would talk about backlinking. The next one it would be about email marketing. All different things. But make sure that when you create your events and you write your descriptions about whatever topic that you're going to be talking about, it's written specifically for business owners. Describe the benefits of using these techniques for the business. So if you want, you can put in actual dollar amounts, like email marketing can increase your income while decreasing your advertising budget by X amount of dollars in 30 days, whatever. as long as it's written specifically to business owners. Make sure you do that, otherwise we've already talked about what will happen. And lastly, I want to talk about briefly special events. This is something that I haven't personally done, but I know a lot of people have had a lot of success with it. And I'm talking specifically about offliners, not just people who run groups. Special events are usually seminars, or they could even just be regular meetup events where you have something special going on. These are the type of events where people have to pay to get in. Now, it's a little bit harder to get people to attend a paid event, but if you can communicate the benefits clearly, it really shouldn't be a problem. Again, if you're going to go the direct mail on this, use the postcards. I really think that's going to be what's best. Just use postcards, and you'll want, if it's a paid event, you're going to want to do a series of 2 or 3 postcards, because not everybody's going to respond the first time they see the card about your special luncheon or whatever. But the reason I bring these special events up is because these can be very, very lucrative. Not just the fact that they are paying to get in, but that makes it even more exclusive for the business owners, which means that your expertise has an even higher price tag. So when you're running these paid special events, you get a chance to charge a much higher price than if you're just running a free meetup group that nobody has to pay to attend. So think about that while you're putting your plan together to run your group. And I really hope you do actually take the time to run a group, because it can be very, very profitable for you in your offline business.